Becky Lynch badly injured after being beaten by Seth Rollins, WWE shocking betrayal. Welcome back to the channel, wrestling fans. We've got an earth-shattering story to cover today that has shocked the WWE Universe. In a devastating turn of events, Becky Lynch has been left badly injured after a brutal attack from none other than her husband, Seth Rollins. This shocking betrayal has left fans in utter disbelief. Becky, who's known for her resilience and fighting spirit, was left helpless after what can only be described as a vicious assault. But what led to Seth turning on his wife in such a shocking manner? What does this mean for their relationship, their careers, and WWE itself? Stay with us as we break down everything you need to know about this heart-stopping moment. The relationship between Becky Lynch and Seth Rollins. Setting the background and history of their relationship. Before diving into the shocking betrayal, it's essential to understand the relationship between Becky Lynch and Seth Rollins. Over the past few years, the two have been two of WWE's biggest superstars, both in and out of the ring. Their relationship has been one of the most talked about stories in WWE, with the two superstars going through the ups and downs of life together. Becky Lynch, known as The Man, has been a cornerstone of WWE's women's division. She made history by becoming the first woman to main event WrestleMania and has been a dominant force ever since. Seth Rollins, the architect, has been equally impressive, with multiple world championships and numerous accolades under his belt. Together, they became WWE's most powerful couple, admired by fans worldwide for their individual accomplishments and their partnership. The couple's love story started to blossom off-screen, and soon, they were sharing their lives with fans, becoming one of the most beloved power couples in professional wrestling. While they have both been involved in intense storylines separately, their chemistry as a couple was undeniable. Both superstars were incredibly supportive of each other's careers, often posting about one another on social media and publicly showing their affection. They even became parents together, with the birth of their daughter making headlines around the world. Fans were thrilled to see their bond grow, not only professionally but personally as well. But now, everything is about to change. The shocking attack, Seth Rollins turns on Becky Lynch. The betrayal? The turn came when fans least expected it. For weeks, there had been subtle hints that something was off between Becky Lynch and Seth Rollins. Tension was building on WWE television, with Rollins showing signs of frustration during backstage segments. The couple was involved in a series of backstage interactions that seemed increasingly strained, with Seth growing more distant and agitated. But no one could have predicted that it would come to this. On the most recent episode of WWE Raw, fans were in for a shocking moment that would leave them stunned. It started as a typical evening, with Becky Lynch preparing for a big match. She was set to face one of WWE's top competitors, but things took a dramatic turn when Seth Rollins made his entrance. As the architect walked to the ring, something was different in his demeanor. He was no longer the caring husband who had supported Becky through thick and thin. Instead, there was an unsettling coldness in his eyes. As Seth stood at the top of the ramp, he grabbed the microphone and began addressing Becky. "You think you're the only one who has something to prove? You think you're the only one who's been carrying this company on your back?" Seth's voice echoed with bitterness. "Well, I've had enough of being in your shadow. I'm tired of being second to the man. I'm tired of always being seen as your sidekick. I've got to prove myself on my own." Before Becky could react, Seth stormed down to the ring. The tension was palpable as the crowd stood in complete silence, unsure of what was happening. Becky tried to calm Seth down, asking him what was going on, but it was too late. Seth, in a shocking moment of aggression, attacked his wife. The crowd gasped in disbelief as Seth delivered a brutal clothesline to Becky, knocking her off her feet. He wasn't done there. Seth dragged her to the corner and began repeatedly stomping on her, each kick landing with a sickening thud. The referee tried to intervene, but Seth pushed him aside, showing no remorse for his actions. Becky was helpless, struggling to defend herself as Seth unleashed a barrage of strikes. Fans were in shock. This wasn't just a wrestling rivalry. This was a personal attack by a husband on his wife, and it felt like a betrayal that crossed all lines. The aftermath: Becky Lynch's injury. Becky's condition and the injury. After the attack, WWE medical personnel immediately rushed to the ring to check on Becky Lynch. She was visibly hurt, clutching her leg and grimacing in pain. The sight of her in agony left the entire WWE Universe heartbroken, as fans couldn't believe what they had just witnessed. Seth Rollins stood in the ring, breathing heavily, his chest heaving with rage as he glared at the fallen Becky. Becky was quickly taken to the back, where WWE doctors worked to assess her injuries. The severity of the attack was evident. Becky had suffered significant damage, and her injuries were nothing short of severe. WWE officials later confirmed that Becky had suffered a torn ligament in her knee, which would require surgery and an extended period of recovery. The news spread quickly across social media, with fans pouring in their support for Becky Lynch. Her injury marked a devastating turn in her career, and it was uncertain how long she would be out of action. For someone like Becky, who had fought so hard to be at the top of WWE's women's division, this injury was a major setback. She had to take time off to heal, but no one knew when, or if, she would be able to return to her former glory. In the days following the attack, WWE released official statements about Becky's injury, acknowledging the severity of the situation. The medical team was working around the clock to ensure that Becky would get the best care possible. But despite the physical toll it took on her body, Becky's spirit remained unbroken. She promised fans that she would come back stronger than ever, vowing that Seth Rollins had made the biggest mistake of his career. So why did Seth Rollins attack Becky Lynch? What led to this shocking betrayal? For weeks leading up to the attack, Seth had been showing signs of frustration, feeling overshadowed by Becky's success. As one of the top stars in WWE, Seth had always been a major player, but Becky's rise to prominence had elevated her to a level that few superstars had reached. There had been whispers that Seth felt like his accomplishments were being downplayed in favor of Becky's. While the two had shared moments of glory in WWE, Seth may have begun to feel like he was constantly living in his wife's shadow, despite being a multi-time champion. Thanks for watching, everyone. If you enjoyed this breakdown of Becky Lynch's shocking injury and Seth Rollins' betrayal, make sure to hit that like button, share it with your fellow wrestling fans, and subscribe to the channel for more in-depth WWE analysis and storylines. We'll be bringing you all the latest updates as this story continues to evolve, so stay tuned for more exciting content. Until next time, take care and keep supporting your favorite WWE superstars.